Hey everyone, it's Harry from Hasbro TV back again. And this time I have two people who should be very positive this week because Spurs have actually won 2 games back to back with clean sheets for the first time in God knows how long. So first I'll introduce Henry. Henry, I know you're a Palace fan, but you do watch a lot of Tottenham. So how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. Yeah.
And Joseph, yeah, we've even been to Spurs game together. So how are you doing?
Yeah, no, doing well. I mean, it's nice to have something good to talk about ahead of another big weekend of
Yeah.
football, actually. To be fair. Yeah, good to have something to talk about.
So obviously we did play a Premier League game last week, and we got a clean sheet, 2-0 win. So I'll start with you, Joseph. First of all, the lineup. Were you happy with the lineup? Were you surprised that Xavi was playing? And obviously the midfield he picked, and also just obviously it was very considering there's been a lot of criticism about Frank being pragmatic and stuff. What do you think in general about like the team selection? First of all.
Yeah, no, I was happy with it. It's funny you actually caught me a bit off guard there because last week I didn't exactly even watch the Brentford game, and then I missed it because I was in Milton Keynes, so I couldn't get to watch it. It was on 3 o'clock, wasn't it? 3 o'clock stream. So, but
Yeah.
I did see the highlights. And I saw the goals, and I saw that we didn't start Xavi, and I was glad to see we've been calling for Xavi Simons to start for a long time. Because I think he's one of those players you need to play him for me. There's no point buying him for 60 million and not even giving him a chance. Like benching about 4 games straight, 3 games straight, whatever it is. And yeah, we need to play him into form. He's starting to get there. He seems like he's actually been working in the gym because he's actually started to like shove some people off the ball and actually go and score. That second goal was a good example of that. So yeah, I was glad to see it. The lineup was good, and it was good to see. More importantly, the intent was there to actually go and win the game. And even though I know it's only against Brentford, as people will say, like it's only Brentford, they've only won one away game or something this season or something like that. So, but then you could say the same about Fulham before we played them. So it's good to have something better to talk about against. The intent was better, and he much needed 3 points for Frank.
Yeah. Do you think that it was almost a must-win game for Frank, really? Because going into that, bearing in mind it was against his old team, and also our home record was so bad. Do you think that was a factor? Because he completely kind of, at least some people said, he completely kind of changed his tactics. I know he didn't watch the game, but we were very attacking and very like on the front press a lot. Do you think that was a thing, like a factor with like the team selection in terms of because he had to win the game? You could argue, sort of, I guess, because if we lost that game, God knows what would have happened to our fan base.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, it's a must-win game, absolutely, because it's more to try and change the mentality of what's happened so far. You know, like I'm not saying it's all on him because like he only started managing us in July, August, so not the whole calendar year of form was on him for the home games. But you have to bear in mind we hadn't won at home since Burnley on the opening day, so he absolutely had to win that game. The thing is, the headlines are written. The thing is, the headlines are written, weren't they? If we lost that game, Thomas Frank's old team, you know, he would have been like, we've taken, like, obviously Thomas Frank and his coaching staff. They've lost Mbeumo, they've lost Witter. A lot of if we'd lost that game as well, it would have been meltdown in the Spurs fan base. So we had to win that game. We did, luckily enough, and sounds like we played pretty well as well. So always a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, it was very like considering what I've seen earlier in the season. Apart from Copenhagen, this was like the most attacking I've seen us play, and just front footed because obviously Xavi's goal. I'm sure you saw it where he just wrestled the ball off them and just ran and scored. Which I don't know why he really reminds me a lot of Van der Vaart, and not just because he's Dutch. It's just a lot of the style of play he is. His quite, yeah, it's very rougher. His finish was very rougher. And of course, like Mwani starting on the left was quite interesting because obviously he played. You know, they can either swap round. But I'm going to go to you, Henry, because I know. Did you see the game at all? I don't think you saw the game.
No. I mean, it wasn't on TV, so I don't think I could have seen it if I wanted to. But
How the importance of the game. Like, do you think this game was really, really important for Frank because of obviously the home record? We're playing Brentford also. Do you think that was like a factor in this team selection, or because obviously we went like 4-2-3-1, one on left wing. We'll talk about that in a minute. And like, do you think that was a factor at all? Or
I think it was a huge game for him to win. To be honest, I think although it's early in his tenure, I think there were a lot of.
Okay, subscribe then.
I think there was a lot of pressure on him to get that match, because I think the voices among the Spurs fans, some of the Spurs fans anyway, was kind of growing. Like even though it's early in his tenure, there was a lot of kind of like frustration, things behind the scenes, and like, you know, division among the fan base, like all of those things. I mean, I've only touched on it. It's a lot more complex than that, of course, but like you could see that like starting to sort of reflect in like basically when I watched the Fulham game, that I could see that for sure. Like I could see a lot of unhappiness in the crowd, like uneasiness, and it was like very, very, very flat. So I think it was a big one for him to win, just to get a little bit of confidence, just to get, you know, the fans on his side again, and show that, like, you know, that they can actually put in a good performance and win at home, and like give the fans something to believe in and be positive about moving forward. And I think they did that, and you know, they got a good win against Prague as well. But yeah, I think the last 3 games is a lot more positive things for sure.
I want to ask you, because I have you on, because obviously you guys got Glasner years and years ago, and at the beginning, from what I remember, at least what I get told as well a lot, is how he was like struggling a bit at the beginning or something.
Yeah,
something like that. He didn't start very well. Now, obviously, I hope it doesn't come out wrong. Your fan base probably has a lot less expectations than the Tottenham fan base. Were your fans patient with Glasner? And like, what was the reaction, for example? Because you guys don't really play like so attacking football.
Well, when he came in, we were deep in relegation trouble. The team had not lost. I mean, not won. Sorry, bloody hell, for a long time. I remember we'd just come back off the Arsenal game away, and we'd lost like 5-1, and some of our fans held up a banner about the board saying "No ambition" and all that. And Glasner came in. His first game was a 3-0 win against Burnley, and everyone thought, here we go. And then after that, we didn't win for 5 games. But in those 5 games, we didn't get outplayed. We created loads of chances, missed a lot of presentable ones. You could see the ideas that were starting to form on the pitch, and we were actually kind of excited because we could see, like, it was like the beginning of Glasner's ideas, and it was new. It was a better style of football, and we like there wasn't many times in those 5 games where I remember thinking, oh yeah, we're doomed, we're going to go down. Like, it just seemed like a matter of time until we got that win again, and then we kicked on from there. So it was more of a change of style that was really refreshing to see.
So would you tell Spurs fans watching it to be patient then? Because our fan base is just, they're just not, even though obviously we suffered under Ange, I guess some of us did, and obviously we had Conte before that, people weren't happy with the fact he was pragmatic. Same with Jose even, because really Spurs' problems kind of stem from when Poch started falling off or left.
Well, I definitely say to be patient, to be honest, because I mean, Joseph said it to me on a number of occasions. Like, you can't just keep changing the manager and like starting a new project again. It's just very, very, like, that's very destabilizing for any club. I think Frank's done okay. I mean, I don't think that he's been faultless. He's of course he's made some mistakes, But I think I think the last 3 games show that he's starting to get things together a little bit. I think the first sign of something changing a little bit for me was the Newcastle game. Because when I watched the Newcastle game, I was like, okay, it wasn't the best performance, but they did show a bit of fight. And then, it seemed like, because not long before that, Joseph sent me about a 10-minute voice note, which was really
10-minute
interesting
rant.
to
I thought
listen
you
to.
said 10-minute rant for a sec.
It was kind of like a rant, but he was making some very good points, very interesting points.
He wasn't happy with me either. Don't worry, it's not just you.
It was good.
We
It
had
gave me
that.
something. It gave me
Remember that
something.
disagreement.
Oh yes, I
Give
know.
me something entertaining to listen to at uni, to be honest. So that was nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, in that he was saying that people are getting impatient and what's it called? What was the big thing that was?
I think I mentioned about how it's probably one of the worst, in terms of done in the darkest times I can remember at Spurs, because it was one of the worst weeks. Just because, in my whole time of supporting Spurs, I think genuinely when you get battered by Arsenal 4-1, then you just don't show any fight. And then you get PSG was a little bit better, but it still lost 5-3. So okay, that's understandable. But then when you lose to Fulham at home straight after as well, I think 3 losses in a week. I think that was possibly one of the worst ever weeks I can remember supporting Spurs in my whole lifetime, and that's a long time. So that's basically even further back than Enoch. That's how far back it goes. I'm not going to obviously say how many years it is, but it goes further back than Enoch. Yeah, they came in 2001. So in the whole time of that, if I'm saying that's the worst week I'd ever supported Spurs, darkest
that
week.
says a lot. To me. I'd have thought there would be a lot worse weeks, to be honest.
I've Joseph, I'm probably a bit older than you, that's probably why, but I've suffered worse. Also,
well, maybe
I don't remember, but ABB I think lost, was it 3 games in a row in his first season?
No, don't get me. Yeah, we've had a little trough to them, but I just don't remember feeling as bad about them. I just don't know why. I think maybe because when ABB lost, when did he lose 3 games in a row? Was it his first season?
Yeah, and then we all thought he was going to sack him. He was going to sack him, and
was that the Bale season? You mean the Bale season? We lost 3 games.
Maybe it was. Let me just check, because maybe I can find it.
It might have been Bale. But either way, the point is, I still didn't feel as bad about that, because I knew for a fact that we had players like Gareth Bale that would get me out of trouble next game. Do you know what I mean? I had things to cling on to. There was things to cling on to. I'm saying, that it wasn't many. But don't get me wrong. ABB was a poor manager, I thought, to be honest with you. But in my opinion, but he got found out the next season when he solely relied on Gareth Bale. Let's be honest. As soon as Bale left, and he didn't spend the money well, so he got found out. But anyway, the point about going back to the point, So Henry was saying as well about this. I don't remember obviously every single week of being supporting Spurs, but it just from my life, from what I remember, is definitely one of the worst, and that says a lot. It's what
I think it was just something I really kind of like that stood out from what you said was like it didn't seem like the players were like showing any fight, and it didn't seem like the players were kind of fighting for the manager. And then that Newcastle game was the first kind of indicator that okay, maybe they are trying, and like I said, it wasn't their best performance, but they ground out. I thought they got unlucky, to be honest, because shouldn't they have had a penalty as well?
No, it was that terrible penalty decision that Newcastle got. Remember, we were ranting about that. The referee.
Sorry,
That referee decision was insane. It was actually insane.
That decision to give a pen was disgraceful. So, not many teams go to Newcastle and get a point from there, and I thought Spurs were unlucky not to win the game.
We should have won.
So and then since then, you got that long-awaited win against Brentford, and then finally, and then getting another win and a clean sheet against Slavia Prague.
Yeah.
Not the best.
We'll talk about that in a bit, because we've got a few things.
You mentioned Newcastle. Do you think that like because that's a game I thought we were going to get. Bear in mind, we've been to Newcastle how many years in a row now, and we got absolutely battered.
Yeah.
Do you think that was sort of a turning point in the sense that because we went there and got something? Like I was so grateful we got the draw. Like I know you're saying we could have won the game, but like in the end, I was like very happy with the point, especially I didn't expect to get anything. Do you think that was like a turning point somewhat?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was a turning point because before then you could see, you can kind of tell in football when you watch it when the confidence is low in a team, and that was definitely the case at Spurs after they, I mean, it never helps when you lose to Fulham at home, but for me, the more pressing thing was getting absolutely smashed by Arsenal. I'm sorry to bring it up again, but there was no that was the worst before. You'd never have known that was a North London derby if an alien just landed on Earth. You know what I mean? It was just
shocking.
It was ridiculous.
That's one of the worst North London derbies I've ever seen. Honestly, that's worse than 5-2.
And then obviously, I think as well that a lot of confidence was damaged in that last minute equaliser against Man United.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that was it, wasn't it? Really, that's the game before the Arsenal game, isn't it? And I had to wait 2 weeks for the game.
I think that really set the course, set the tone. Like, I think if they'd have got a win against Man United, I don't think they play as dreadfully as they do against Arsenal. I'm not saying they would have won or drawn. Like, who knows what the result would have been, but I don't think they would have got walked over the way they did.
I agree with that. I think that really hurt. That last minute, that really hurt that day. So as you remember, I was talking to you after that game. That was probably one of the most hurt I'd ever had. Like, honestly, one of the worst I felt after a Spurs game. That just because of how we'd gone from obviously looking like we're going to lose to then 10 minutes was great. Obviously, 10 minutes of really good football at the end, and then we just went 2-1 up. At 90th minute, 2-1 up. The scenes were mad. I was in the bricklayers watching that one, and the scenes were mad. Everyone was hugging each other, all loving life. And then, literally, you could hear a pin drop when that 96th minute goal went in. Honestly, you know what I mean? That was like personal. Like, how on earth do we throw that away? Like we've gone from losing it to going winning it. We've recently gone from. It's like what's that saying again? It's like we've suffered defeat from the jaws of victory or something like that. Yeah, that's what it literally is like. It's like that's what it is. That's Spurs, that game. That was just
And as a Palace fan, I can relate to that feeling because we played
switched off and then we conceded.
Not long after, and we lost, having been 1-0 up at half time, and we lost. And I was only a few rows from the pitch, and I couldn't believe we'd lost because they were just so. Can I swear on here?
It's fine.
They were absolute shit. Like they were fucking useless. Like honestly. And then I said to Joe, I said after the game, I was like, "Don't let this fool you. They're not back. We gave them that win." And I kind of felt how Joseph had felt after this, but probably not as down, because obviously we were on better form and still, all those things. But I just felt this feeling inside me, like, how the fuck did we not win that game? So it's always a tough one to take, but to be fair to them, to Spurs, they have picked themselves up, and it's good to see. It's good to see because I like Frank. I think Frank's a good coach, and I think he deserves the time to turn things around. And I think we're slowly seeing some signs of improvement. I think.
Yeah, we are, to be fair, and it was funny because going back to just that Man United. One more thing, touching the Man United before we go and talk about Spurs again. But that Man United game as well. It's like, and I'm sure you can tell me when Palace played Man United. I think I know they've improved a bit compared to last season, because last season they were terrible, right? But let's be honest, Man United they're not as good as what people are making out. Like, people are making out like Man United have been brilliant. They're they're starting to get a lot better, and I know they've beaten Wolves 4-1, but everyone's beating a team with loads of confidence as Wolves, apart from Spurs. Obviously, everyone else is beating them. So So yeah, of course.
You know what it was? It was.
If you want to watch a team, if you want to watch a team with low confidence, like you were saying earlier,
Yeah.
you can watch Leeds every week. That's a team with low confidence. They are dreadful.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't wait to watch them tomorrow against Arsenal and see how long they last.
It's gonna be 4
It'll be
or
a
5
miracle if they get something
yeah.
from Arsenal. Will be like the biggest miracle ever.
Yeah,
4 or
I
5
mean,
mil.
if you played a drinking game to see, you know, how every time Arsenal take a shot, have a drink, you'd be pissed by the end of that.
Yeah.
But anyway, not to go off topic too much. When we played Man United, it was like Man United have developed this knack of fooling everyone into thinking that they're good again by stealing moments, right?
Yeah,
stealing moments from the opposition. And luckily for them, we played on the Thursday, and it's going to sound like I'm making excuses for the loss now. I'm not, okay? But I mean, we still deserve to lose because we weren't good enough that day. But that's the thing. They took two tiny little moments, two tiny little mistakes that we made, and they were absolutely clinical for those 2 moments, and crap for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And obviously we were tired as well, so that was factored into it.
Yeah.
But I left that match feeling completely robbed, and that's how Joseph felt in his game as well when he watched it. So I think you know, robbed is the feeling. But yeah.
Definitely.
That's how we felt, to be honest. That's how we felt.
Yeah. It is. Obviously, I know we'll revert the stream away. It's not a Man United stream, so I know that. But it's still, that's the point. It's not a slugging Man United stream off, although it seems that way. But that's it's just because because just we'll see obviously in the next coming games. But I'm very confident that that Man United aren't as good as what people are making. That's run of form they're making out. They're not that good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We could waffle on about them, but I don't want to.
Yeah, that's true. But we have got something good to talk about because we've got Slavia Prague. I mean, well, just a bit of context. So me and Henry did actually watch that game together. So obviously we saw the whole of that game pretty much until we turned in the last 10 minutes. But for the Liverpool game. But obviously we watched the whole of it pretty much.
We did.
It was. Do you know what? Obviously the attack was better. But I do feel like we gifted them quite a few chances that we don't normally give. Maybe it's because we're playing quite attacking. I don't know. Well, I don't know what you thought, Harry, on that game. I don't know if everyone thought it was to review. Yeah. I feel like with a better team, I think they might have done it.
We picked up where we left off, sort of, with the Brentford game. Like, it was the same 11 apart from Paulinho and Odobert. And I think Richarlison should definitely scored that chance in the first minute. Like, Odebert's cross. He didn't even...
he should have. Yeah.
Was that the one where it was like crossed in the box and then shot, and the keeper made quite a good reactionary
save? Yeah, but he should score, isn't it? He should score, but it's a good reaction save from the keeper, to be fair to him. Yeah.
So I think
Odobert did a lot of work.
Yeah, I think those 2 changes, I actually kind of predicted them because I thought Moani won't play. He's not really been playing him like 2 games in a row yet. I noticed he's managing his minutes in a certain way. I don't know exactly, and then obviously Paulina Bentancur are basically rotating as the 6 now, so he's obviously using one of the 2 at least in home matches. But I want to talk about Archie Gray because obviously he started. Was it 2 games in a row? I think is it 2 games in a row? As the 8, I guess he's been the 8. What have you thought of him so far, Joseph? Because obviously you wanted him at Brentford, didn't he? So I guess it's that as well, but.
Yeah, I watched him obviously on Tuesday. I thought he was good. There's some nice bits of play from him. Thought that what I liked about him though is that even if he gave the ball away, he'd fight and win it straight back. Do you know what I mean? He'd make a good challenge to win it back straight away and have the energy. And I think it's promising. Obviously, I know we got to bide our time with him because he's only young. He's only like 19 years old, I think. No.
Yeah, I think 19. Yeah, he's 19.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good he started a lot of games. He looks more physical this year compared to what I'd seen. Last season I didn't think he got found out in midfield when I watched him with Ange, but this season Frank clearly sees him as a centre midfielder, doesn't he? Because he's playing him there every time. He's not really playing him fullback anymore, is he?
No. He did play him there, I think, once or twice, didn't he? I think earlier in the season, maybe as cover. I think wasn't that one game we was in Monaco actually when we watched Monaco.
He did play him there. Yeah, he did. Yeah, that was a really good game. He played really well that game, didn't he? Making some great blocks.
Yeah.
But and you know what? To be fair, he might be useful actually as a squad player for right back or left back now, because obviously we've got Udogie out for 2026. I know Ben Davies has come on, and obviously I'm sure we'll get to talk about him in a moment. We'll talk about him in a moment because I've not actually seen him play for Spurs. But his first Spurs appearance this year.
Yeah,
on the front.
He was injured, I think, at the beginning of the season. Yeah.
I imagine it was probably his first appearance since, like, maybe early from the start of last season, if I'm not wrong.
He's been out for a long time.
I think he played a lot played quite a bit under Range, to be fair. He played a lot in like a back 4 or 3. He kind of, I remember him playing quite a few games at centre back when we were missing Van der Ven and Romero for quite a bit, didn't he? He played quite a few games at centre back. It was rotated between him and Gray and
Did he play in that Chelsea game? You know, the famous game with
Dragusin, yeah.
Did he play in that Chelsea game?
Coming back as well, yeah.
Sorry, Henry, what were you saying?
You know that Chelsea game where they lost, and Jackson scored a hat-trick and the high line thing became a meme.
Oh no, we've got.
I don't think he played that game.
Did he play that game? No.
In Champions League got Dortmund. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he played that game. No, I think he was. He might have come on maybe, but he didn't play it because he might have.
Are you talking about the game you rushed them back, Henry? Talking about the game you rushed them back?
No. We're talking about the 4-1 loss when Jackson scored a hat trick.
No, he didn't play that game.
It's who we are, mate. That one. Who we are.
9 men on the halfway line. 9 men on the halfway
line. Yeah. I think he did come on. I think he must have come on that game. He must have done.
I mean, I can actually find it. Actually, I don't want to relive it, but I'm trying to find it.
But yeah, but either way, Ben Davies. But yeah, it's good he's got him as an option at fullback. To be fair, so we might well have to use him, mightn't we? Because around the Christmas schedule, there's quite a few games. So I'm not sure if we continue to play Porro and Spence every game. But I think for now it's all right because we've got Forest on Sunday, then we've got a game against Liverpool on the Saturday afterwards. And then we've got another whole 8 days to wait to play Palace, don't we? So we've got quite a few games, to be fair, like once a week kind of thing at the moment, which is good.
Davies didn't play that game. Sorry, I'm just looking. He didn't play that game.
Oh, he didn't? No. Okay. There you go.
Because Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie. Yeah, it's the normal back 4, I guess. And then he wasn't even on the bench that day. It was Skip, Emerson, Dyer, Højbjerg, and Bentancur came on, apparently. Anyway.
Okay, there we go.
But yeah, it's interesting you spoke about Gray because I noticed in that game, I think it was at the beginning of the second half, Frank called Gray over and he was barking some instructions to him. Obviously, I couldn't tell what he was saying, but he clearly didn't seem happy about some of the positions he was taking. Obviously, later on in the game, I think he take Gray off. I'm sure he did. I think later on in the game,
he might have taken him off. Yeah, but I think he played. I remember him getting creating a really good chance for Odegaard, didn't he? Timber.
Yeah.
I think he played a good through ball through. And he played the Odegaard had a shot and it was a good save from the keeper.
Can I ask what you think the best position for him is for Archie Gray? Like,
I think we have to persist with him in centre midfield at the moment, as it seems. I think that's clearly where Frank thinks his best position is.
What do you think?
I think centre midfield might bring the best out of him. I think what I like about him is he's a very versatile player, so he can play obviously. I like him obviously playing at right back or left back. It's full. He played there with Leeds as well, so it's good that he can fill in there. But I think to get the best of Gray, because I think he's one of those that has energy and he can play forward passing. I think to get the best out of him, it might be centre midfield. I think.
Would you agree, Harry?
Yeah. I was going to ask you actually, Henry, because you're like an outside view on this. Do you think Gray's inclusion recently puts doubts on like the futures of like Sarr? I know Sarr's going AFCON anyway, and obviously Bergvall, who came on and played, I think, on the wing, which was really interesting. And I think you don't remember, but when Bergvall came off,
I kind of think the future of Sarr's been up in the air for a while. I feel like Sarr's future was kind of uncertain anyway. But yeah, I think it probably does, like, you know, it probably does increase that uncertainty, I guess. But yeah, I think Sarr is. I don't know if you want me to talk about him, but yeah,
it's fine. You can say what you want.
he's. I don't know. I feel like he's a bit inconsistent. Like sometimes I feel like he's really, really good.
I agree.
And then he'll just sort of go missing for a few weeks. Is the feeling I get. Is the sort of. And I think Joseph feels similar. Thinks a similar way in that regard. But
What was that?
I just think he's a bit. He's the kind of player that if I was the manager, I don't know if I'd want him like. If I don't know if I'd want him, for example, starting in a quarter-final of a Champions League and leading the course for that. I think I'd probably want him off the bench in the last 10 or 20 minutes of a game to try and see a game out, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's how I feel. I agree, Henry, to be honest, because when I've watched him, there's certain games that I don't even actually recognise him on the pitch. Like there's certain games that it's like normally when Papa Sarr's at it, his energy is the key thing about him. He's a great energetic player. He's good at winning the ball back at times, and he's a bit more. I think he's a bit more of an all-rounder midfielder, really. I'm not sure he's not a centre defensive midfielder to me, number 6.
No.
And I don't really think he's a number 10 either. But I think he can play there if necessary. I think he's one of those that can float all round. I think he's okay at everything, but he's just like okay at everything. I don't think he's like brilliant at certain things. I mean, and there are certain games I don't know if I really even like. I don't know if you ever get this feeling. Do you ever get this feeling when you see him, and do you even notice sometimes if he's been playing? Because sometimes I just want to get on the ball. Does he notice to get on the ball much? I don't think he gets on it that much, really.
No. I think the problem with Spurs is all the young players we got, well, not all of them, but I'm going to make this comparison. So, like, we have Tell and Odobert who kind of play the same sort of positions. I guess the only difference is Tell can play in the middle, but Odobert and Tell tend to rotate on the wings when they come on or they start, or whatever mix up you want to say. And then you have Sarr, Gray, Bergvall, who are, and I consider Bergvall and Sarr to be quite similar in the sense they're both ball carriers. But then Bergvall might have more. I think he might have more ability. I don't know because it's still quite early. I still think all of them. And unfortunately, obviously, got Gray as well. But unfortunately, I think at some point we're going to have to cut our losses with, say, like I know we bought Tell just now, but say one of Tell of Odobert, and then 1 or 2 of Gray, Bergvall, because we're going to move forward as like a team or club, whatever you call it. We're going to have to sacrifice some youngsters and decide, this guy is not going to be able to carry on. But obviously, it's clear that obviously out of all of them, Frank must favour Gray. He wanted him at Brentford, and on the wing right now, at least I can say Odobert's probably higher choice than Tell. And bear in mind, we also have Mikey Moore out on loan. So I think at some point the club's going to have to make decisions on these players if they want to move forward. We can't, because I've noticed, obviously, for example, I mentioned Bergvall came on as a winger, and I'm like, even Sarr came on as a winger, I think, the other day, because they're having limited game time rather than they might need either like you'll have to loan them and hope they turn into a superstar, or you're going to have to just say, he's hit a certain age, 23, 24, because I think Sarr's like 22. He must be 22, 23 now. And say, look, he's not going to hit a higher ceiling. We're going to have to sacrifice him and Tell, for example, to go out and buy a winger and a midfielder, just as an example. Because even Bergvall, I have doubts about him now, not because I think he's awful, but it's just we have so many players similar sort of players as well, like trying to fill in the same positions, and they're all around the same age, or say maybe 1 or 2 years difference. And I think Frank's maybe trying to work out which ones he wants to keep. I don't know, because Sarr might have to be sacrificed, not because he's like awful, but because I think kind of in my head we need to keep either Sarr or Bergvall, and then either Tell or Odobert. I'd pick Odobert. Because we've got Mikey Moore coming back as well. So,
We're just talking about the midfield, by the way. I don't know what you're about. I think the midfield. I don't know who's your preferred midfield 3 at the moment, because I think we have to have. At the moment, for me, I like seeing only one of Paulinho or Bentancur starting. Only one of them, right? And then I have either in the 8. I have rotating either Gray or Bergvall at the moment. one of those two starting. Okay, and then I want Simmons to start every game for now. You know, I know not every game, but I mean, but in my preferred midfield three, Simmons in the 10 has to happen. We have to keep Simmons in the 10 for me. I don't want to see him out on the left again for a while. Doing because before we were trying to fit him in the left. I don't think that works. I want to see him in the cam, in the number 10, and I want to see only one of them. I mean, that's our best midfield three to take the game to opposition, especially at home. You can see it's working now. We are starting to slowly, take it from. Albeit there are things that me and Henry picked up on when we watched the game. That there was quite a lot, surprisingly a lot of chances for Slavia. I thought quite a few chances we didn't expect. And if they had a better finisher and a better thing, that could have been a goal. It could have been chances. I mean, 100%. It wasn't like plain sailing for Spurs in that game. I know it seemed it because of the result, isn't it? We look at the result, it's 3-0 job done. You know what I mean? And I don't know about you, Harry, but I definitely thought the first half wasn't as good. The second half were a lot better. We put them, sort of when I think the early penalty in the second half really, allowed a bit more freedom to go and really take the game to them and drive at them. And I think it was better in the second half. But the first half, there was a few warning signs, I thought, in that game actually, and I think it could have been the story.
Unfortunately, this is the point that Sport fans will not be happy. So because we're not playing Bentancur and Paulinho, I think we have less defensive cover. So when the players go forward, naturally Gray's joining the attack now. So before maybe Paulinho and Bentancur would be more reserved, I guess, together. So we're sacrificing, I guess, less defensive cover or stability. I don't know. And as a consequence, we are going to leave more holes. So if you play more attacking, you're going to leave more holes at the back. I think it's just natural. So I think we need to kind of look at how they're going to deal with the chances they're going to leave behind whilst playing more attacking. And I think that's the consequence of just the team selection. And obviously, Gray is still quite raw, I think, personally. And he's probably still learning the position because obviously he played right back for Leeds a lot. And he came to Spurs and played literally everywhere, apart from maybe.
You know what it is? I think that Gray's been kind of moved around a lot and not really, because under Ange, I seem to remember him being sort of put in a lot of different positions, and I was like, just pick one and play him there.
Centre field.
Yeah, and I think that's really unfair on the kid. It's really unfair on the kid because the guys, the guys come from Leeds up north into a big six club, one of the, and you're under a lot of pressure at Spurs, and I feel like he was heavily relied on at times. At times, he kind of carried you guys at times in certain games, and I was just like, this is how old is he again?
He's 18 at the time, 19 now.
I was
gonna say, so he was 18 at the time. How are you letting an 18-year-old? You can't be that reliant on an 18-year-old. You know what I mean?
He's 19. He's 19. He's born in 96.
No, I know he's 19 now, but he was last year. He was 18.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, last year.
But no, I mean, I think Gray is a very promising player. I hope that he's. I hope that he's allowed to, grow and flourish, and
Yeah, I'm happy. I mean, for Forest, I don't know. The thing is, because just touching on Forest just for a minute, because we're going on to them on Sunday.
Yeah,
on Sunday. I know we'll touch on in a minute, but I was going to say just quickly, what would be your preferred midfield three against Forest then? Because obviously, I mean, do we need to be a bit more physical against Forest? Or
for me, I'm going Paulinho, Bentancur, and Xavi for that game.
Paulinho, Bentancur, and Xavi. Wow.
Yeah, because I just think I worry about Gray against Sangare and especially Elliot Anderson, who's been one of the best midfielders in the league. And he's a real
Gibbs White, he's been playing as well.
I just worry he'll get lost in midfield. So I think maybe that's what we'll play because Frank's kind of been rotating between Paulinho and Bentancur. I don't know if you noticed the minutes he took off Bentancur for Paulinho, I think, the last game for the last 20, 30 minutes. So
my question is
they're managing the minute. So maybe, especially because I have a week in between anyway, maybe he is going to go for Bentancur and Paulina in that game, and then maybe against Liverpool might be something similar or maybe slightly different. I don't know.
I think it's similar. Yeah, I think he'll go for that against Liverpool. I can understand that at home. To be honest, to be fair,
But Forest it's not easy. I know they're like 17th, but their home record's really good. I worry about Gray in that game, like whether, but then you can argue Sarr could play or Bergvall could play because they've not really played that much. So maybe he might play.
Well, we're going to the AFCON soon, so that'll be his last game, isn't it? We should play Sarr, really.
Maybe play Sarr with
Paulina.
I don't know, but it depends what kind of midfield he wants to play because we're going to have less of the ball, I think, because Forest are at home. I don't expect to have as much ball.
You think? I don't know about that. I think we'll have more of the ball because Sean Dyche's teams don't really play with possession that much. Do you think?
I don't know. At Forest, he seems to be a bit.
Sean Dyche likes to just park the bus and try and pick his moments and counter attack. That's what he likes to do.
Chris Wood.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of thing.
But
I'd agree. I'd agree with Joseph there. I think you probably have.
We'll have more possession.
You'll probably have more of the ball, but it'll probably be harder to break them down. I'd say because they're at home, and they're going to be really determined to get a result. But so I think it's going to be a big test to see how far.
Before we go on to Forest, I want to speak about 2 transfer news. First of all, Johnson to Palace, because I have you on, Henry.
Oh, God.
Do you think there's any legs in the story?
No. We spoke about this off camera, didn't we? But we don't even need him right now, for God's sake. I mean, I don't know why that links. And also I don't really think he'd fit in at Palace. I don't. I think we've got players like Pino, and we've got Sarr. I know Sarr's out right now, and he's going to go to AFCON. Actually, no, he's not going to go to AFCON because he's injured. Actually, correct myself. But I don't know. I just don't feel like. I feel like Johnson's a bit of a moments player. Like he just sort of people forget that. I mean, I've heard this many times from loads of Spurs fans. You forget he's there, and then he'll pop up at the back post and score a goal. Most notably, his goal in the Europa League final, which was the sweetest contact of a football I've ever seen. He just sort of pops up with the old goal at the back post, and then you're like, "Oh, nice goal from Johnson." And then he just doesn't really. I don't know. He just sort of looks a bit. He just sort of looks a bit lost at times. He just sort of runs into players, and you think you're a winger. Have a bit of trickery, have a bit of creativity about you to beat a player and cross it in. He's just a bit predictable for me.
I think I don't know, but it says Tottenham winger Brendan Johnson is on Palace's list of potential January signings. It doesn't say he's like the first target or anything. What Spurs' stance is on selling the player remains to be seen, and this is reported by the Telegraph. But also, Joseph, do you think if we were to sell Johnson, do you think that indicates that maybe I'll go into this in a minute? We could be doing some business in January to bring in another winger or something. Or I'll speak about it in a second. We'll leave that for a minute.
I think we'll need. I think at the end of the day, we do need a winger of real quality. I think that we're missing either because you got to remember that we've been in the past. We've been blessed with people like Son, for example, a left winger, really important. We've had star quality at left wing.
Fail.
I think it'll be good in a minute to actually touch on that, by the way, because I don't know. I was really glad to see him back at Spurs. I will go on to him in a minate, but
Sonny. Of course,
we'll talk about how good
I was there. It was really nice. Because obviously he said bye to the fans, and he's just basically a Spurs legend, pretty much at this point, isn't he? I guess.
Oh, he absolutely is. Yeah.
But I think this story might have legs to it, assuming we're going to buy someone. But
I'm not sure Johnson's plan is definitely going to happen. But what I will say is,
I'm not.
I know we can see. I can see us trying to go in the market for a top right winger because we have been asking for that for a while as well. It is funny you mentioned Semenyo as well. I would love Semenyo at Spurs, but whether it will happen or not is another thing. But I would love to see him.
You should go for him. I don't know why they don't go for him, to be honest.
£65 million release clause. I'll just put it on the table and go for it. If we've got the funds,
you've got the money.
put it in then and see if Semenyo wants to come.
there's a few players like that where with Spurs where I just feel like, why don't you just try and sign them? Like players like I mean, I know no one's gone for him, but and he's not on his best form at the moment. But Rafa Leao from AC Milan,
I thought he'd be a great choice.
You could have signed him in the summer, and then there's also someone like maybe, and I know he kind of gets made fun of sometimes by certain people because of his time at Fulham a little bit, and especially that penalty. But Ademola Lookman. Lookman's he's a good player. Like, and the Semenyo is just another example. Like, I don't know why you guys just don't put the money on the table.
I think the problem is Semenyo's been linked with City a lot. It's very strongly linked with City, and also Liverpool are rumoured. I don't know what Liverpool will be in January, but
we can't do, Harry. We can't let this be like another Eze thing where we spend about 2-3 weeks trying to talk to him and trying to say, trying to talk to Eze when the guy's never going to come to us, right? So Semenyo is not going to bother coming to us. If he just put the money on the table. Well, that's what I mean. If he's not going to come to us, then just go for what Henry said. Go for Leao or Lookman. Then that should be our next target. We need to hurry up with this.
What's the link with Diomande? Is Diomande the Monaco guy? Is it Diomande? What?
Is he a winger? I don't even know about him.
Diomande winning with him as well. But the Semenyo thing's interesting, mainly because the story says that the Lewis family are willing to give sufficient funds for Spurs in January or the foreseeable future, and Semenyo's offer apparently is going to be like lucrative, as in the best offer he'll get, maybe wages wise on the table. I don't know. That's what implied. There's a report implied, and also that the release clause is not a problem. I mean, his release clause shouldn't be a problem. It's only 65 million. So, do you see any of you seen him come to Spurs? Like, is there a better deal at Spurs than like City, or like what do you see happening? Or do you think Spurs are going in there again, and we're going to be like left in the dust?
I can't see us getting Semenyo. I'm just going to say it out there right now. I can't see us getting him. I'd love to get him, but I know how we operate, and I can't see us getting him. I don't think it's going to happen because I think if he's going to get an offer from Liverpool that are better, or if he wants Liverpool or wants someone else, at the end of the day, all you can do is pay the 65 million release clause, put the money down, and say, and if Semenyo make the decision. But at least what you do is you don't waste time with him. You give him a few days. If he says, I don't really want to come to Spurs, and he wants to get Liverpool, well, okay, move on to the next target and hurry up then, because we've only got 30 days this time. We haven't got 90 days for a transfer. So you got to hurry up and get things started straight at the beginning. And then I don't know, Lookman's another great option because when you think about it, they rejected Inter's bid because they didn't want him to go to another Italian club, and then Inter weren't going to pay 50 million euros. But I think for us is 45 million euros or whatever it is that they're happy to sell to another club abroad. That should be fine. I mean, that should be something we should be looking at. 100%. So obviously, unfortunately, the thing is, it should be all logical, but we're with Spurs. Let's be honest with the board and Spurs. Logical doesn't mean anything. It's not logical. We don't do Spurs. We only do the complicated things, and we always do the haggling. Trying to get an extra few million off. I mean, we've seen it so many times before. Look at Jack Grealish, 2019. I can never forget it. 2018. Look at that. We should have put the money in the table straight away. £25 million before the owners. Then by the time the new owners came in, we took them so long. The new owners came in and they didn't need the money anymore.
That was it.
So that was it. And then look what happened. Went for 100 million. What 2-3 years later? I think 3 years later went for 100 million. Like quadruple the price.
Yeah.
We could have got 25 million then. And that season we got to a Champions League final. Imagine if we had him in a Champions League final. Who knows? I mean, I don't want to go on about it, but you just don't know, do you? Yeah. But then,
do you think that will Levy going, Henry, for example? Do you think Spurs will operate any differently? I'm just asking your opinion because you're not a Spurs fan, so.
Yeah, I think they will. I don't think it will be like a seismic change or anything like that. I think it will kind of take a while for the
haggling that Joseph spoke about. Do you think it's going to happen again? Yeah.
To be honest with you, yes, I think it will.
Okay.
But at least we've got the money this time, so you've got no excuses, have we? Do you can't blame Daniel Levy anymore, yeah? That's the thing.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we'll find a way. We'll find a way to blame Levy anyway. It's even
oh God.
No, yeah, he is weird. Like, I don't get it because I've that's something that I've experienced a lot as a Palace fan. You know, haggling and Parish not
Yeah,
trying to get a cheaper deal. Like he's kind of known for that. But
God.
like that's Crystal Palace. Do you know what I mean? Like it's more understandable. Like we're not as rich as you guys are. We're not as lucrative. We don't have as much pull, as much power, you know, to attract players. But Tottenham do. Like they've got one of the arguably the best stadium in the league, in the world. They've got a great training ground, and so I don't really get. It just seems to me like there's only so many ways to say it, But there's no reason why they can't just pay the money.
Yeah, I know. Just pay the money.
Just pay the money.
We need to do that.
Release the funds.
It's the only way. Harry, if you really want to compete at the very top, like Daniel Levy said, the ambition said we want to win the league, we want to win the Champions League, right?
I remember
that's what Levy said. Yeah, I know he's not here anymore, so I don't make it about him. But obviously, that's easy to say, isn't it? We all want to do that. Look, every fan wants to win the league and Champions League. I mean, you ask any club, they would love to do it. Whether it's possible, I don't know. But the point is, the only way we can do that and make it any step closer is we're going to have to start spending big money. The way look at Arsenal, where Arsenal spent 105 on Declan Rice. You have to spend money. You have to spend money on the big players now. I mean, and you have to spend it wisely. And if we want to get anywhere near where obviously where Arsenal are, where Man City and Liverpool are, we're going to have to start spending some big money. I'm afraid that's the only way to get up there.
Simple as 100%.
And I feel like today as well, with the whole PSR thing, I feel that gives people an excuse to say that, we can only spend so much money and all this. But I feel like with Tottenham, there is the money there, isn't there?
We generate money from stadiums and stuff. And our stadiums, look how rich our stadium is. The concerts, everything like that.
Yeah. When you publish your financial accounts and stuff, there's always loads of money spare, isn't there? So there's no reason that can't be put into some transfers.
No, exactly, and that's what needs to happen now. So, obviously, I know January's, as people all say again, the excuses go out there already. January's a very difficult window. It's a very difficult window to do business.
No, yeah, I can't wait to hear that 1,000 times in January.
Time before, but then you hear. But then let's be honest, it's not impossible. Liverpool paid the money. You got Van Dijk in the first few days of that window, the transfer window before. You know what I mean? It's possible to get things happening. Arsenal got Aubameyang in that window. Doing, in January, January deals do happen. Luis Diaz went to Liverpool in January.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean just because the players, teams don't want to let certain players go in January, doesn't mean they can't be tempted. So you just got to put the money down and release clauses. There's nothing they can do about it. There's nothing. I know Marinakis got out a release clause with the whole good swipe thing, which obviously will go into politics at the moment. But in general, normally release clauses, they should. You just pay the money. It should be fine. Then it's up to the player, isn't it? So clubs can't do much about them normally. So fingers crossed, we can, identify targets early. I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be a whole window where we go after one player and finally get Porro on deadline day. I don't want it to be the whole January. Porro one. Remember? Porro every day. We're talking about him every day. He's gonna come. He's not gonna come. Yeah. And then I think the Sporting had a final, didn't they? Didn't they have the League Cup final against Porto that window? Yeah. So I think they kept saying, "Oh, we need to Porro for that win. We need Porro for that game. We need to play in that league in the cup final." And I think Spurs let him play in the final in the end. Then he came to us straight after, if his memory tells it correctly. But we need to just from the start of the window, we should have targets already identified. That's the point. We need to start doing that now. Hopefully it's a change. I know we've had a lot of board changes, so hopefully this will be a change of something. Let's hope so in January, but we'll see.
So obviously we've got Forest away on Sunday. How are you feeling towards that game now? Because obviously we have picked up a bit of form, strung a few results together. Do you think we're going to carry on and get something at least at Forest? Obviously Dyche, I wouldn't say those games are easy. I know Forest have some quality in midfield, like we spoke about earlier. Anderson is like £100 million player now. It's weird because he was on the bench in Newcastle. Now he's playing regularly. Forest, he's so good. It's interesting how that works out. But like Juice says, winning the game maybe, or like I think it's a very difficult game. What lineup do you see playing out? Yeah.
So what it is, I'll answer point by point, right? So in answer to the first bit, it's a lot of dissecting the question there. I mean, first, it is a very difficult game, but it's one Spurs have to have the ambitions of going there to win. Nothing but a win should be acceptable this game. I mean, because I know in Forest is different. Every game in the Premier League is tough. Every game is, apart from Wolves at the moment, or even that for us is tough. So we
drew to Wolves.
But yeah, I know we drew with them. So every game is tough, is what I'm saying. But we have to go there and have the ambition to win. We have to go there to dominate. And Harry, I do think we're going to have a majority of possession because that's what Dyche's teams will give us. Believe it or not, they will give us a majority of possession. You know what I mean? So I do think we actually got to start a bit more positive and start with. I don't think you start with Bentancur and Paulinho together because if you do that, then poor old Xavi Simons ain't going to get the ball. Because they're sideways passing backwards every time. We've seen that. When those two play together, we're very negative. And I understand it in big games when you're a team like, for example, and I understand it against teams like Man City and teams like Arsenal. I do get it against those teams because they're better than us. You know what I mean? They're out footballing us, right? But I don't see it against Forest. I think we have to play a number. I think we stick with Archie Gray again if he can play again. I think we stick with Gray and we stick with Bentancur and we stick with Simmons. I think that's what we should be going.
Bentancur over Paulinho, then you're saying for that game?
I think so. Yeah. I think we'll stick. I think that's what he'll do. Yeah. I think he'll stick to what he did last week at Brentford. It worked really well. I think so. Bentancur, Paulinho, and Gray. Bentancur, Gray, and Simmons. Yeah. And I think that has to be the way because we have to go there to dominate. Because that's what we have. That's the only way you beat Forest. I mean, you have to go there, take the game to them. I think that we have better quality. And I think if Simmons is up for it, and then it'll be interesting to see who he starts up top. Do you think he'll start Mwani or Richarlison's had a couple of? He scored last week, didn't he?
I think he'll play Mwani because he had Richarlison last week, didn't he? Yeah, and he rested Mwani in midweek, so I think he's going to play Mwani. It'll be Mwani.
Will it be Mwani on the left? Mwani on the left, and then Richarlison up top.
I think maybe he might go something like Mwani, Odobert, and Kudus. I think Kudus definitely going to start.
Kudus definitely. Yeah. I think we got to dominate. We have to go and dominate now. We have to go there and just grind out the win. I think we've done it before, Forest. I mean, under Ange, we won there 2-0 in his first season. Do you remember? Away from home, 1-2-0. Richarlison scoring and Kulusevski scored. So we can go there. We can go there and win. But there's no reason why not. It's just that we have to go. We have to take the form of the recent games, and then, and to be fair, away from home, we are normally pretty solid. I mean, I know we obviously lost to Arsenal 4-1. I think that's our only defeat in the league away from home. So
Arsenal, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is.
We should be fine. I think we'll be all right. I think we will actually be able to get 3 points in this game. We'll be positive. Let's go for it.
Well, I really, really can't stress enough how much I want you to win this game because I hate Forest.
Okay. Yeah. Marinakis.
After what Marinakis has tried to do to our club, well, did do to our club. I feel like
you and me both, Henry. He did it to us as well, man, in a different way.
Yeah.
Gibbs White.
I know. Thank you, Mr. Marinakis.
He had a gun to his head.
Yeah, he did. I think Forest are a very aerial team. Like they get a lot of balls in the box and stuff, like the likes of Chris Wood, and they have a lot of big, tall players that are going to be dangerous. So I think it's very important for the likes of Van der Ven and Romero to really be on their game to deal with them.
Do you think he might play Dance though? Because he did surprisingly last week. We rested Van der Ven against Newcastle. I thought it was quite interesting, and he put Danso with Romero. Do you think he might do something similar because we are, or not? Because we've got a week in between. Do you think he'll just leave it the same?
I think it's a week in between. We'll do the same. I think that's the reason he rested Van der Ven in that game because we had We had a game every 3
Midweek.
days at that point. So I think he had to rest him in some games. He couldn't play him all the games, so he had to rest him one game.
Actually, I know he's got a lot of criticism, Frank, especially from even you. But I think his rotation, I know it's not always worked out, but I've agreed with a lot of his rotations because I think he's trying to manage minutes. And bear in mind, it is, to be fair to him, it's only his first time playing in Europe, in Champions League, like managing, a team in Europe. I think his rotation has actually been quite made a lot of sense. I know it's not always worked out, but and like the Van der Ven resting, even though in the past maybe I would have been like, why is he resting him? But then at the same time, at Newcastle away, we knew we were going to have not a lot of the ball and would have to play deeper anyway and deal with more aerial and like someone like Dancer was kind of perfect to play there because we're not going to really go forward and use Van der Ven's pace that much anyway in that game. Like I don't think we needed it. Like, and because obviously Newcastle most of the ball anyway.
Baltimore's not a guy that's going to run in behind you. Do you mean that's the thing? So it's a good idea that you did do that. He's not going to run away from you.
I picked certain games to rest certain players, and he goes, I can play him in that game, rest him in that game. Because it showed with, like, he only made 2 changes, obviously, the other day with Paulinho resting. Because Bentancur, I think, I played 2 or 3 games in a row. I can't remember, 2 or 3. So he thought, I'll play Paulinho that game. And then, obviously, Mwani, he seems to want to manage his minutes because, obviously, his fitness and the mask and whatever. And he rested him, and I think he'll probably play Mwani up front and maybe rest Richarlison. I don't know. He'll do something. Like he obviously Mwani and Bentancur are probably going to play the next game because they didn't play the last game. But
that's what I mean. That's why I think Bentancur definitely starts as well. That answers the question from earlier. So that's why I think it will start with Bentancur and Simmons. Yeah.
Where would you play Simmons?
Simmons has to play.
Yeah, but where do you play him? Because didn't Joseph say that he didn't want him in the cam or something?
No. I said I didn't want him on the left.
Didn't want him on. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, because he's not. He's
on the left, and he's very ineffective on there.
Yeah, that's not his natural position, is it? His natural position is like it's a cam. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he can pick up where he left off against Slavia Prague, getting that goal.
Yeah, I mean 2-2 for him now. But he scored against
Europa. He got a little bit lucky with a penalty. To be honest, he would have.
Nah, that was a very good. I knew as soon as that left his foot, it was going in the back of the net, mate.
I thought Kudus' penalty was brilliant, though. Kudus' penalty was really good. He smashed it in. Yeah.
A lot better than Charleston's penalty against Copenhagen, anyway. Let's be honest.
I was going to ask you because obviously Charleston had that issue with Scarlett. Do you think he was kind of pushed to not take the penalty because obviously he missed the last one in the Scarlett situation to give it to someone like Kudus because he was like, I don't want to risk anchoring the fans again. Do you think that was a factor with that penalty at all or not?
Yeah, maybe. But I also just think Kudus is our penalty taker. I think it's fairly obvious because we haven't had many penalties this season yet. So I was interested who's going to step up. And obviously they think Kudus is a penalty taker, so they're giving it to him.
I think he can take them. Yeah. He's got that. Yeah. Kudus has that like swagger about him where I think he's just been confident enough to score a goal with a penalty. Yeah. Henry,
after all,
what do you think is going to happen on Sunday? Do you think Spurs are going to get a result for us?
Score draw, I reckon.
Wow.
I feel like it's going to be a score draw, like maybe 1-1 or 2-2 or something. I don't know. That's the feeling I get. I might be wrong, but
yeah, you could be right. You could be right, but I hope not. I just really, really want to go there and win because the thing is, I think it's really important because we've got Liverpool at home next week as well. So I just think it's very important we go into that game with full momentum to have any chance because I know Liverpool aren't the team they were, and we'll probably get into next week's stream. You know what I mean? And next week we'll talk about that. Right now, right? But obviously, I think we've got every little chance, this time for once, of beating Liverpool if we can go in there with full momentum.
I think Tottenham being Tottenham, you'll draw with Forest and then beat Liverpool.
Maybe.
That would just.
Or we could do the opposite. We could beat Forest and do the Tottenham and suddenly fixes Liverpool.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Probably.
I don't know. I feel like Liverpool. I know they got that result against Inter, but I just feel like Liverpool are like.
It's not Liverpool Street. I love to talk about Liverpool, but it's not Liverpool Street.
I know.
Their issues are just. There's a lot of issues with Liverpool.
Don't worry. We'll for again next week. We'll have to come on again next week to talk about Liverpool. We have to talk about that next week.
Because at least we'll save it for next Friday because then we can talk more about it. I have my opinions
yeah.
on it as well. You guys, like, it's quite interesting because they spent so much money and it's just not. It's not. I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of
Interesting,
discussions. About it.
Yeah. But Forest
So
away,
what's your score prediction?
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a 2-1 Tottenham win. Yeah, let's win this game. I think we have to go there in a positive attitude. I think we have to go there to win the game and take the game to Forest. And I think moments of quality could be all the difference. I'm going to go for 2-1 Spurs win. Let's do it.
Unfortunately, I'm going to side with Henry with this. I think it's going to be 1-1.
Yeah.
I'm quite worried. Like, I'd take a point now, actually, but I think you're right. I think carrying the momentum, we need to go in there and win. I don't know. It's a hard match.
I feel like going there and winning is a big. It'd be great if they could do it. I think it's a big ask. I think if they were to go there and get a point, it would keep the form ticking in a way. You know, you go there, you get your point. You've stayed unbeaten for a 4th game in a row. You know, I feel like that would still be. It would still carry some momentum for the Liverpool game. Obviously, not as much, but I feel like it would still be a good result. Like, but I mean, not a good result, but you know,
it'd be okay, I guess.
An acceptable result. Let's put it that way. Like, But I think 1-1, to be honest.
I think the midfield battle was the biggest thing for me because I look at Forest's midfield. We've got Gibbs White capable of doing something. Elliot Anderson's just shown us this season. Every game I watch him, he clearly is the best player. I know Gibbs White's brilliant, but I just see him. And obviously got Sangare in there as well. And they got Douglas Luiz as well. We forgot about him. So they have got a good midfield. And I think away from home, that's where you're gonna get either you're going to win the game by winning the midfield or losing, or I think that's what's most important. So I think for us to win, you're going to need like a big game out of someone like Gray if he's going to start him to not be outmuscled and bullied on the ball by a lot of the players because they have got strong midfield.
Maybe you could be right. Maybe he does start Sarr then. That could be one of those things that Sarr comes in instead of Gray. What do you reckon?
He has options. He's got Bergvall as well. So, I mean, he can do Paulinho. Bentancur can play. I think Bentancur will play, though. With Bentancur and Sarr, Bentancur, Gray, Bentancur, or Bergvall. Like, he has options. Like, because he could. That's what I mean. We have a lot of options there. I just don't. I think he needs to find the right blend to combat their midfield because their midfield is really strong. Like, I think they've got a lot of ways they can hurt us. And like Henry said, they can play it long and it will be balls in the box. And then hopefully Vicario will deal with them. But
well, I think. But how the
thoughts on Vicario?
Yeah, how the interesting thing actually. To be fair, there's 2 things also that I'm just going to just touch on with Forest though. Firstly, I do think. I think that Chris Wood is actually injured at the moment, from what I remember. I don't know if he's back yet this Sunday. Yeah, he's been playing last 2 games. So, but that means that Igor Jesus will start, and he's been playing well recently, hasn't he? He scored a goal yesterday, winning Utrecht. He scored the winning goal at Wolves as well, and he does look decent in the air as well. For a small guy, he was decent in the air because he actually won a couple of headers against Wolves and scored 2 goals from 2 goals from headers. One was given offside after about 5-minute VAR delay, and the other one was a goal. So
let me see.
I think Igor Jesus will start though again. He's actually been good recently.
Forest. They've got Aina, Zinchenko, Wood. Yeah, right. Wood is injured. Angus Gunn, Douglas Luiz apparently is injured as well.
No, but he came back yesterday. Douglas Luiz is fine. Douglas Luiz came back yesterday. I saw him play yesterday. He's back. Yeah, he's back. I watched a little bit.
But Wood is in. It says Wood is injured here. So.
Yeah. So I think Igor Jesus will start, which is not exactly any easier, really. Like he's actually done well. So I mean, I'm
kind of a like replacement, really.
And he's a bit quicker in behind as well. It's a little bit different. So Van der Ven might have to get sprints on in behind because I think Igor Jesus is good at. And second of all, you've got to bear in mind that Forest also come into this game having had European action on the Thursday. So I don't know how much that affects them or not. You know what I mean? I'll be interested to see what that does because obviously
we had 2 extra days.
I know that they're. I know obviously Forest will be, gunning for a result because last time out against Everton they were really poor. Like really, really
Yeah, I
poor
know.
against Everton.
Yeah.
3-0 away last game. So they're going to really want to come out and get a result, especially knowing that Leeds are picking up form as well. Leeds picking up form. West Ham are getting a couple of points on the board here and there. Not winning, but they're getting a couple of points on the board. It does put a bit of pressure on them, doesn't it? So they need
I mean,
points
if
as much
Wolves can get a result on Saturday night, maybe. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen.
Even if they do, they're still,
Yeah.
even if they win, they're 10 points behind Forest anyway. They've only got 2 points. they're not the team that. I don't think Forest are worried about Wolves. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think they're worried about. If anything, it'd be interesting if Burnley get a result at home to Fulham tomorrow, though. Would that put any pressure on them as well? Burnley got
Yeah,
Fulham
well,
tomorrow.
Wolves can stay up. They could, all they have to do is win their next.
Maybe up, man.
Win every game, Harry.
We just got to win every game.
Yeah. That means they got to go to Arsenal and win.
Exactly.
Please, Wolves, go win Arsenal.
I think only us two understand that reference.
Yeah. Good old Ty. We had to call out Ty on the stream, didn't we? Yeah.
Oh God, not him.
I somehow don't think Ty watched the stream, but if he does, then it's fine anyway.
Well, I mean, no, I don't. I somehow doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Ty may have TV watching.
Ty
may have
Ty.
TV. Yeah, Ty may have TV. Yeah, basically, what he did. There's a video. The video I'm referencing ages ago was. Do you remember back in the 2015-16 season against Man United when they lost 3-2 and Rashford scored against Young? Robbie was talking to after the game, and then Ty said, "Oh no, don't worry, we've still in a tight race. We just got to win every game. It means we have to go to Tottenham and win. Win every game. And he has to go to Spurs and win. And then
every year is the same shit.
That's when Claude lost his head. He goes, every year
we're going to win the last 10 games and win the league. Get real. Get fucking real.
Remember that?
Yeah. So that's what I was referencing. I was saying Wolves have just got to win every game. That's how
every game. I mean, we'll go to the Emirates.
Now you remind me of that video. I'm going to go watch it now. That was peak AFTV. That was literally the peak AFTV. Like during.
I don't even watch it anymore. It's just not entertaining.
Well, it's because they're winning every week. That's why it's not entertaining. It's not entertaining as it used to be. They keep winning all the time, apart from last week.
Yeah, but not only that, all the good ones are leaving, and like even like some of the newer ones that were like kind of entertaining. Even they've gone. Like
James left.
James left. Turkish left. Like I don't know what's going on there.
Right,
I quite like Turkey. He seemed like a bit more level-headed. Yeah. Which is strange for an Arsenal fan, but yeah.
I'm bad though because I watched League Gunner, so he just rips into Arteta every game.
League Gunner.
Yeah, he rips into Arteta every game. Like that's why I watch him. I'm like, go on, son, keep saying.
Go on, son.
I don't like Arteta.
I think the guy just gets drunk on all his streams. I swear, that guy. He gets like drunk. He drinks, and throughout the whole stream, and he just like loses his rage.
But it's funny. I find it funny. But he did it. He has another channel called League Gunner Reacts.
Yeah, I've seen it. I watched it.
Speaking of Tottenham, it came up as an algorithm. Speaking up Tottenham after we beat Slavia, and it was like, Xavi's cooking. He says or something. Kudus is amazing. I was like, what am I watching? Crazy Tottenham. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
He must be wanting to jinx them or something.
Yeah, no, I think
I was really surprised. He was really bigging us up. He was like, Frank's doing a great job. I was like, really surprised.
Yeah, I think there might have been drinking and sarcasm though as well. I think it might have been.
Also,
I think he's being
I don't know whether he still likes Emery because he mentioned about how they gave Arteta this much money. I can't remember how much. They gave him a lot of money. And then he said, well, they didn't give the last manager like any time for inferring about Emery. And bear in mind, Emery beat them like the other week. That's why he was talking about it. He was like, we didn't give Emery this much money, but they gave Arteta. He doesn't like Arteta. To be fair, I don't think Arteta is very likable, but like,
I mean, he's very.
I just like him more than Wenger, to be honest.
I mean, most of them like him, don't they? Like, I feel like most of them are on his side at the moment.
Yeah, they
like,
are.
If he wins if he wins the league, that if he doesn't, they'll turn like a as fast as anything.
Liban was in the chat. I think this is Liban was in the chat. he told me if they don't win the league, he's going down Emirates. So
If they don't, he's going to go to the Emirates.
I'm going to find Arteta. He goes.
Yeah. See,
He's
I mean,
gone
look,
he's gone
but how
full
interesting-
Liam.
just touching on Arsenal a little bit compared to like sinking to Spurs a bit. Did you think that them losing to Villa in the last minute the other day actually had a big impact on the atmosphere at this game against Brentford?
Do something, mate. He's actually a Wolves fan.
Yeah.
Please do something. Some juju.
I was going to say, just out of interest, do you think that the last minute goal at Villa last week, because that happened right before the Tottenham game, didn't it, against Brentford?
Oh, mate, I was in the pub when that happened.
Do you think that will make any? Do you think that actually added to the atmosphere at Spurs against Brentford?
Yeah, I was in the Coach and Horses actually. It's very funny you say that. I was in the Coach and Horses. With one of my
Great pub.
Alex Kiraku. I don't know if you know him, Alex Kiraku. But anyway, when the goal went in, we went nuts, and everyone started singing "Second again, ole ole, Bottlers again." You know. So I don't know. Maybe it did affect the game because we went into a lot happier. Obviously, because Arsenal lost.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a factor as well. Where we beat Brentford, and people just seemed a lot happier because obviously Arsenal lost.
Basically, we got Emmett Buendia to thank. Basically, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
He also beat us. Buendia scored the winner against us, though.
Yeah, he did.
Do you know when TJ scored Buendia and he scored like 2 goals now?
Big up TJ, yeah, because obviously I know everybody watches this.
People here, but big up TJ, bro. I don't know where you are.
Big up TJ.
He might be.
It's funny. He mentioned in July or August, didn't he? He said, "Do you remember we should get Buendia? We should get Buendia from Villa. That guy from Villa."
You know what? He's right, to be honest.
He's right.
Yeah,
Maybe he's right. Scout TJ might be right here.
I was literally just about to say
there's a lot of
that.
players out there like that. Like, thing with Villa is they've won, I think, 10 of the last 11 games in the league, I think, or something like that. But at the beginning of the season, everyone was like, Villa, they know what's going on with Villa, but he's started to pick up now, Emery. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll win the league. I don't think they're in a title race, though.
I think it might be a bit early for that, but we'll have to see around Christmas, won't we? They're certainly one of the informed teams.
No, they're not in a title race. Even Emery's played it down. He said we're not in a title race. So
yeah, exactly.
They're not in a title race.
I think they might get the top 4 again, though. You know, they might get the top 4.
Maybe. Yeah.
Ryan must get a tough house when that game happened.
Yeah.
Arsenal and Villa.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Maybe it's 1-1. I don't know. He's a Wolves fan. I know he's a Wolves fan, Ryan. But I don't know. Maybe it did.
He's a Wolves fan. Did you say?
Yeah, Ryan's a Wolves fan. Yeah.
Oh, condolences to him. What did I do to deserve to support Wolves? Oh man. Let's see.
Look, this was awesome. How was that game then, Ryan? How's that game in your house?
Oh god. Oh dear. To be fair, at least Wolves fans tomorrow can enjoy a nice night out in London on Saturday after they've lost.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy a night out in London, you know? Just do that. Don't go back.
There's plenty of good pubs to drown your sorrows.
Yeah, plenty of great clubs, pubs. You can go and expensive. If you want expensive drinks as well, you could go to London.
I mean, to be fair, Finsbury Park is really near central London. You'll be in Central London in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, so why not?
It's close to Camden, isn't it? Arsenal.
Yeah, it's funny Camden. Yeah, it's very near Camden. Yeah. So plenty of pubs and stuff for drinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Ryan, man.
Not ideal. But you know what? All I'll say is it's going to be an interesting season ahead. I mean, you know, in terms of there's obviously a lot of. I mean, this weekend just alone. I mean, there's always a lot of games in the Prem that are always great in the weekend, but this weekend alone, you know, got the time weird derby as well. Don't forget.
So you're going to miss that at the same time.
Fosun out, Ryan. Fosun out, mate.
Time weird derby. You got a lot. They got a lot of games this weekend that are interesting. You know, it always is. You know.
Oh, yeah, December time's always the bit. I feel like football comes alive in this December time, like December, January.
Yeah.
Like this is where the season kind of takes shape, and then
look at the pictures. Apparently, Salah made the squad, by the way, for Brighton.
Oh, he's going to make the squad. Oh, right. Okay, there you go.
The thing with the 4:30 games, Brentford Leeds though, like anyway. But we've got Palace City, Forest, Tottenham, Sunderland, Newcastle, and West Ham, Villa. And then the 4:30 is Brentford against Leeds, which is a bit.
Yeah, no.
I
I know. But you know what? To be fair, that might be a better game we're giving it credit for, though, because Leeds, go into the game with a bit of momentum. Brentford also.
Yes, focusing up for sure. Yeah.
Brentford are going to win, I think, to be honest.
You think?
But their home form's so good. Yeah.
It's better than Leeds away form, isn't it? So, yeah, probably.
Even though Leeds did beat Chelsea, to be fair. Even though I saw a rumour that apparently they were considering sacking. Is it Clark? Is his name Clark?
They were considering sacking him.
Before like the Liverpool and Chelsea, I'm like, what are you expecting to do? I don't.
Yeah. I love what this Tottenham stream is becoming vast into a. It's kind of turned into an all Premier League stream.
Football stream, yeah.
Premier League stream.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
Was there anything else Tottenham related? I don't know. I mean, it's just getting ready for the weekend, really, isn't it? I think. Oh yeah. That's very interesting news. He says that he's actually training on grass individually now. So, he's training individually.
You know when Sonny was there? I don't know if you saw the videos, but Solanke was there, Maddison was there. I didn't recognize. I think the other one was Brandon Austin, maybe, and there was like one other player. They all hugged him because he came off the pitch, and they hugged him as Maddison. Yeah, Maddison. I think it was Brandon Austin, and Solanke was there. I can't remember if there was one more person. But anyway, but he was there.
Joseph, maybe that was the guy in the middle that we couldn't identify, Brandon Austin. Do you remember?
I think that was Brandon Austin. I think it was Brandon Austin.
Was that when what you mean when Son was
Yeah,
because they were obviously they were showing some, but they were showing some other people who come, and we saw.
Yeah, we recognised
the left.
Yeah, Madison.
And I was like, "Who's the one in the middle?" And we didn't even work it out.
Brandon Austin. Then now it's
Brandon Austin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think needs time? Brian's asking, do you think Frank needs time? Because I know you weren't happy with me the other week with the Franks.
No, it still is. I mean, he deserves time. My point back then was I was going to say I was giving him. I said I want to give him at least until January onwards, at least, because I wanted to give him. But this is when I was also feeling really emotional after the Fulham game as well, right?
Yeah.
But I said I wanted to give him at least until January because I want to just. But he needed to show me that he can play attacking football in games at home that we need to win. Do you mean? That's the thing. And you say he has done that. I'm sitting on the stream a week and a half later, 2 weeks later, saying, to be fair to Frank, he has done that. He's played more attacking on the front against teams at home, and he's shown me that. And it's funny, isn't it? You play a correct midfielder, you win. Would you believe it? You win the game.
I think savvy. I have a different opinion on that. I think he was sort of trying to let him bed in because obviously he played him on the left. I know you disagree with him playing on the left. I didn't like him on the left, but I think he was trying to take him away from the middle where it's more like combative and let him ease into the team and ease into like England basically. And then obviously he's went off and done the gym work. And I guess because me and Madison spoke about it. Then he's come back. He's stronger. Because bear in mind, at the beginning of the season, he was getting out-muscled by Doncaster players, I remember.
He was. He was.
And he seemed, obviously, with his goal, kind of displayed he was way stronger because he just, out-muscled the players, ran and scored. So I think it's just taking time. That's why with Savvy, when all our fan base were going nuts saying he's going to be amazing. It's not like me and TJ were saying he was going to be bad. I'm just saying, just like, let him just play and bed in and,
let him
I'm not expecting to use him. Just give him time and let him because he's going to
let him cook.
Let him cook.
Yeah,
let him cook.
And we have done that. And to be fair to Frank, like I said, the last few games, we played more on the front foot. I've seen more attacking football. I have to admit, I didn't see the Brentford game, but I saw the Slavia Prague game.
He was attacking.
I can see a lot more attacking happening, at least. I mean, me and him even noticed it. Not the first minute, obviously. Look, Richarlison, a big chance in the first minute. That's not normally like Tottenham. We don't normally start like that. I'm saying to him.
I mean, I thought Odegaard was all right the other night. I think he gave. The problem with Spurs is we have a lot of players that are very similar.
He played well.
I actually really liked Odegaard in that game against.
Yeah, this one pissed off people. The Arsenal and Chelsea games really pissed off people. Yeah, saying about people turned because of those games. No, it's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah. About Frank. Yeah, that's true. I agree. They did. Yeah. But
that's just Arsenal. People would be like ripping into him because They were like, "Oh, we lost to Arsenal," and everyone's emotional. For once, I took a different approach. I was like trying to take myself away from the fact we lost to Arsenal. Like I was saying, well, if we lost to like another big team, would the reaction been as bad? I don't think so. It would have been bad, but I don't think it would have been like this level.
I think it was more on the. I think that it was more on the players that one. I don't think.
Our players were not passionate at all that day.
I don't think Frank would have sat them down before the match and be like, "Right, lads, just don't put a foot in. Just let Eze have all the time and space in the world."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he would have done that. I think he would, he would have said, "Do the basics right, and then try and build from there."
At the beginning of the season, I think Frank was very hot on Sarr, like warm with Sarr, and then Sarr had this issue, and then he's been out of the team, and then he was using Bergvall more. But then Bergvall had a few issues. I think I think he was unhappy. He was taken off one game. I don't know if you remember when he was trying to come back on. The physio wouldn't let him back on. And Frank had to go Chelsea. Since that game, Bergvall's not really had that many minutes. At least not in the position I think he wants to be in.
There for a while, didn't he? So he couldn't play for about a few weeks anyway. He had concussion.
Yeah. But I think now Gray seems to be the one he's picking more now of the three of them. It's obviously showing the team selection. So I don't know. I think he's kind of worked out which one he wants to keep and which ones he wants to keep, because I don't think he would keep them all. I'd be surprised if he kept Tell, Odobert, Gray, Bergvall, Sarr were all here next year. I think he
got
might
a lot of
lose
young
at least
players.
one. He'll lose at least two of them, I think. Yeah.
And you're right. You've still got Mikey Moore come back, hasn't you? You've got Mikey Moore as well.
Yeah, there's Mikey Moore as well. There's 6 players there. 6 players that can play, especially
and then you got like
3 wingers. 3 wingers and 3
come back when he eventually comes back.
Kulusevski as well. Yeah.
Kulusevski,
yeah.
When are they coming back, by the way?
Madison's probably up
next year.
Madison's an ACL injury, so probably like March, April at least when you actually probably.
Next year. Of course, the year's about to bloody end.
Kulusevski, I don't know the latest on him. He doesn't really sort of talk about him much in the press conference.
I saw someone on X the other day. I don't know if you're on X. So someone retweeted about when the injury was like first happened with Kulusevski, and it was like sometime last year. Apparently, Ange said he only got a knock, and then I read the next. Anyway,
it was against Palace, wasn't it?
It was against us. I remember. Yeah.
And then they scanned him again. This is our treatment room for you. And they were like, "Oh, we need to assess him now. It's not as less serious than we thought. Basically, it's more serious." Then they did the analysis, and they came to the conclusion it's a really bad injury. But I've heard so many different timelines on the Kulusevski. I'm like, him and Solanke, I'm just so confused. I just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is at least Solanke's now officially. He said he's back on the grass, so individually training. So whether that means
he had a setback, didn't he? Did he have a setback? I can't remember. Did he have a setback? Maybe he had a setback.
Yeah, he always seems to have setbacks. To be honest, that's for a while. I mean, he's not played a proper game since. I think the last time he played was when he came on against Man City for a few minutes, wasn't it? In August.
Yeah. And then he disappeared after that. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. So
do you think a lot of this is like as a result of 2 years playing under Ange, where the players have just got weaker legs in terms of like injuries?
Well, that will certainly do it, because he'll run you into the fucking ground, that guy.
I think that might be a factor. I don't know, because Kulusevski played a lot under Ange, and so did Maddison, and obviously Solanke was a striker, so he didn't really favour Richarlison.
But you know what? It's good.
He made Solanke run like a madman, like most of the game. I remember first.
I can see it. Yeah, on the pitch,
like, is this guy going to have a break, like to have a shot? And by the time he's had a shot, like he was so tired, probably he couldn't really keep the ball, probably. Yeah.
But in fairness, I've got to say though, I'm really the medical team's always had other issues at Spurs. We're a medical team, we've had changes galore, whatever, right? But I will say this season, I'm really glad so far. Touch wood, he's kept Van der Ven. They kept Van der Ven fit, and they've kept Richarlison fit. Yeah, so we've kept players fit that would normally have injuries. Do you mean by now we normally?
Frank, even Richarlison.
I'll be talking with them because his rotation, like I said, is quite specific. Like he's doing a rotation a certain way. Yeah.
Fair play to Frank. His rotation has been pretty solid in that sense, but I think it just goes to show we just need to have a bit more quality, don't we? We need to add a bit more in the window.
Yeah, in the squad. Yeah, like we need to go out and sign some players where if we rotate one out, the guy that comes in
Yeah.
at least of the similar quality, if not,
Yeah. You look at
Like, left
Arsenal
winger.
squad. I hate going back to them. But, you look at Arsenal squad.
even
there,
with all their
playing
injuries at the back, they
know.
still could put in Ben White and move Timber into the middle.
Madueke on the right wing. Like he scored 2 goals the other day. Brilliant goal. He comes in. Martinelli comes in, scores a goal. We need to get that sort of level of quality at our Spurs, to come on, don't we?
Yeah.
I still think Arsenal have a bit of issues up front because Gokres wasn't that great.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think he's been good. Yeah. From what I'm hearing in some fans of them, they're saying that Jesus is better the other day when Jesus came on. He's sharper, which is weird because
I told you he wanted Havertz back. So I was just like, what? He moaned about Havertz for a whole year, Henry. This guy, Joseph knows him. He's one of my mates.
Right. Yeah.
He moaned about Havertz for a whole year to me, saying he's awful, blah. And then Havertz got injured, and Gokres has obviously been playing. It's like, he's like, I miss Havertz. It's like,
that's Arsenal fans for you, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah.
It
is. But Harry, one thing I want to touch on the stream before we end, though, I will say one thing.
Yeah.
I really did think it was a great send off for Sonny, wasn't it? No, I've got to say that's Sonny. What did you make of his speech? I know he didn't say a hell of a lot, did he? He didn't talk. I don't think it was a long speech from what I saw. It's about
it wasn't.
He's always been a man of
I
few words.
Sonny's ever been like that though. Son's never been like
exactly
that person to talk.
I thought it was funny when he said, you know when he said, "I hope you haven't forgot me." I thought that was hilarious.
It was nice to the song again. Like, nice one, Sonny. No,
it was a nice. I mean, Harry, what was your favourite moment of Sonny in this whole 10 years? I know there's lots to choose from, right? For 10 years worth. Sonny, but what was your favourite moment of Sonny?
For me, I think it was. I don't know how. I know most people say Burnley because that's an easy one to pick. I really like his goal at Wembley against Chelsea.
Yeah, that one. That's what I was going to say as well. That goal. I think that's one of my favourite too.
Yeah. It's just it was because against Chelsea. It's hard not to pick it. And obviously, he scored a great goal against Arsenal in lockdown. But the only reason I didn't reference that one is because it was a different experience not watching it. There, like because I was at the Chelsea goal, and I was at Burnley. I kind of lean on the Chelsea goal, to be honest, a lot. Yeah,
I think the Chelsea goal as well. I think I agree. I think that's my favourite moment of this because it's just what it is. It was a whole day thing. Because remember that Chelsea go into that game. The context, right? They went into that game 12 games unbeaten under Sarri. They hadn't lost. Yeah. We weren't looking great at that point, were we? We were looking a bit on and off. We weren't looking great. And we were, and we go into that game, and I remember looking at the lineup that game, and I was thinking, "Oh God, 1-4 start. We've definitely lost this game." 1-4 starting this player. And I remember, and it's funny because I went with my dad. I went with my dad to Wembley that game with him, right? And then I remember we got there. It was a whole day thing. We got there at 3:00. Even though kickoff was at 5:30, we got there at 3:00 at Wembley, right? Had a couple of cans before we even went in because back then, in Wembley you could. To be fair, Wembley. During the European nights, obviously it wasn't a European night, but during the European nights for context, that there was you couldn't drink alcohol in the stadium. But
I'm not going to say I might get away around it anyway.
Yeah, we could drink. Also, I know it wasn't European night, so it just has nothing to do with it. Yeah, but we went to Wembley. 3 p.m. kick, 5:30 kickoff. Had a couple of cans we even went in. I got a beer straight away. We had one more beer when we went in, right before the game started. 5:30 comes around. Obviously, we're riled up. It's Chelsea, isn't it? Right at home. So we're thinking, oh my God. I was shocked. We went 2-0 up. Dele Alli scored it from a flick, didn't he? First goal. I think Ericsson got a little flick. Dele Alli came up. And then Harry Kane scored from range.
Yeah.
Then Kane scored from range, made it 2-0. And then after that, then it comes for Sonny. Like, we're still up at half time thinking, oh my word, what a game we're having here. Yeah.
He's married,
on the counter attack.
Yeah.
Harry, on the counter attack. What moment though?
It's some guy running the counter. It's a joke.
No,
he's married.
He's taken, mate. He's taken.
He's married. Don't worry.
You're too late, mate. You're too late.
But on the counter attack, 2-0 up at this point. Son gets the ball. He runs. I remember it very clear. He runs. First of all, he runs Jorginho up the line, doesn't he? He runs past Jorginho, right? And then he
Then he-
sends David Luiz to Africa. I swear to God, the way the guy spun, David Luiz, he sent him to Africa. Literally turned him around, and he went through, and he calmly slotted the ball in that corner. I remember everyone went wild. Oh my God, we were thinking, what a
I don't
goal.
think so, to be honest.
I think that is my favourite Sonny
Jesus
moment.
Christ.
How bad it was.
Oh
That
my
actually,
God.
What?
What is going on?
what's he saying now?
Oh my God.
I never seen this
Oh.
before.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I don't even want. I can't.
By the way, apparently it's the guy that runs that account anyway, so don't worry.
But yeah,
He's just trolling. He does it on every
I
chat.
can't-
Don't worry, I know.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just I can't
Yeah.
quite believe it. Yeah.
Joseph, you're a wanted man, apparently. But yeah, so waiting for him to finish.
He's
I know he's
muted.
explaining it.
sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. I was just on mute. Yeah, but
Alright,
but yeah, that
we'll
was
just finish off now anyway,
that was my favourite moment though for Sonny. Actually, yeah, that
There's
was.
a lot. I mean,
of
we scored a couple goals away to City as well. Remember when we lost 4-3 in that game?
Champions
But for
League.
me,
Yeah,
same with you. I really like the Chelsea one.
yeah.
Now she's
What about
asking
you,
about
Henry?
you.
What about you as an Henry, what about you as an
Yeah,
outsider?
I'm a
What
single
about-
Pringle, but I have my suspicions about you, my friend. But yeah.
Anyway, so your favourite Son moment?
My favourite
any-
Son moment was every time he didn't score against us, which wasn't me.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No, yeah,
Remember his
I'm
first
kind
goal
of.
against Palace. His first goal was against
Yeah, he did.
Palace. Do you remember?
I know.
Yeah, no,
I remember.
first league goal.
Wasn't that the first goal in the new stadium?
Yeah, oh yes, he did.
not
Well, that
that.
again. He did that.
Old
Well, he did
White
that
Hart
as well.
Lane. Yeah, also
did.
Old White Hart Lane. His first goal was against Palace. I remember.
Yeah.
He ran.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
you're right. You're both right. You're both right. Because
Yeah, we're both right because he scored against us
He
in the
did.
new stadium.
Yes, he did. He opened the scoring. First goal at the new stadium.
Oh.
But,
Yeah, that was. I actually still have that match program because it was like a special program. I kept it. Yeah.
first goal at the new stadium. And then, and you are right. And to be fair, Harry, that was his first league goals against Palace, but his first goal was against Karabakh. Me and Henry were there actually at the game, weren't we? Do you remember, Henry? Me and you
So,
at the game.
to be honest, I wouldn't want to go to the high road for a date. That's quite a dodgy spot. But yeah, no,
Me and you
we were at that game. Yeah.
when he scored his first goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Against,
No, the Sun was always a very exciting player to watch. I don't really know, because I'm not a Spurs fan. I don't really have a sentimental.
I want to say
moment
though,
of
I
mine.
was very happy that he won his trophy,
yes,
before he left, sort of thing.
Yeah, it was amazing because it was quite interesting, wasn't it? Because and what I like about him is even when he was dropped for that final, because obviously he didn't start the final, he came on, didn't he?
Yeah,
I remember we had a discussion.
He didn't do a Mo Salah, did he? He didn't come out in the press.
The game.
I think we'll see. We'll leave the Salah talk for next week, guys, because
that was funny.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he didn't do that. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. I mean, so yeah, that was fun. I mean, he was great, but yeah, it was a moment he fully deserves. 10 years at Spurs, he could have easily gone left ages ago. But you know what? This goes to show that we have to give the manager time. Sometimes you need to give players time as well before you judge them, because I know that a lot of fans, well, not me, but a lot of fans didn't want Son their second season. You know that they wouldn't have been sold.
I know about that. I was, to be fair, I was kind of in a minority that actually wanted Sonny to stay, because I spoke to someone when we signed him, and he was like, "Yeah, Son's a Champions League level player." Can
you imagine if they'd sold him? It would have been so different.
Yeah, we one that got away, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even for us, Kamada last season was getting slated all across, all over the shop. In the first few months, he was getting everyone, and even now, he still gets a lot of hate for unwarranted hate, in my opinion. But he turned it around, and he's won the FA Cup for us with us now. So it just goes to show that you give people a bit of time, and then you can get your rewards.
Minority because when we signed him, he was from a Champions League level club. So someone was like, just be patient with him. Because I like to ask people if they know more about the player than me, like what kind of player he is. Like, if we signed a Greek player, you'll probably be asking me, "Oh, what do you know about him?" Blah blah. You know. But I asked he was a journalist. I was like, and he reported on the Son thing. So I was like, yeah. He was saying,
Sorry,
be patient with Son. You know, he's a Champions League level player, and
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
he was right. He was right in the end. You know, Sonny paid off in the end.
Yeah, amazing. But yeah, I think that might have been just about. We've reached 100 minutes of the stream. I think that might just have.
I
I
thought
think that'll be nice to
basically.
wrap up, I think, to be honest. I think it's been a good one, though. It's been a good stream.
Yeah, it was actually a really good
Yeah.
stream. We've discussed a lot of things.
Yeah,
And I guess
there's lots to
we'll
talk
see you guys
about,
next
so.
week.
But yeah, next
Enjoyed
week
it.
we're back again, bro. We'll be back next week. Yeah, 100%. Don't forget to subscribe to Hasper Fan TV. Hasper TV, yeah. Don't forget to subscribe to Hasper TV. Yeah. And where you can find me, well, Henrino96 Instagram if you want to find me on Instagram.
Yeah, and Henry. Yeah, that's up to you,
Yeah, my
But
Instagram's
otherwise-
just my name, Henry Billum. But yeah.
But otherwise,
Anyway.
you'll see us next Friday, I imagine, because we'll be discussing Liverpool and Salah and Liverpool's
Oh,
problems unless they probably win on the weekend.
We're getting
And
into all of
obviously-
that. Yeah,
Yeah, because we all have opinions on Liverpool, I think.
indeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're back next
I've been
week.
quite
I look
interested.
forward. Henry, your last day of
Yeah.
uni next week as well. And same with them.
Yeah, thank God, man. Thank God.
School as well. So there you go. You'll be glad to be off for Christmas. So you can
Yeah.
Oh,
start.
yeah, I'll be off as well.
Yeah, there you
Um,
go.
No
Yeah.
more nincompoops for 2 weeks. Incredible.
Anyway, on that note, there
Come
you
on,
go.
you Spurs.
On you Spurs. Let's go.